Shalom, shalom. I doubt this is going to be a long video because I really don't have the space um, to be creating any more videos. I have not received any compassion, kindness, mercy, nor empathy. Um, my channel is being highly marginalized, ignored, and diminished. Um, Clearly, I am not here to set myself up in authority over anybody. Um, Nevertheless, that which I've been given to freely give unto humanity has been inscribed upon my spirit, and I've been instructed to bring it forward. That's exactly what I've been doing to the best of my ability. And there's over 1,100 some odd videos on my channel. you know, um, Lately I've been feeling, to not worry, not be concerned about putting out more content because there's already so much content out there that people are literally sleeping on. Nevertheless, this has been pressed upon my spirit to reveal to all those who are interested and who are seeking uh, just how much work is on my plate. Um, how much work I have because it's over a full-time job's worth, okay? Is several lifetimes worth of work that I have on my plate, okay? Um, and the fact that I've been held down, you know, by lack of finances. And ain't nobody gonna convince me that I have to make a covenant with Satan, the one that gives the blessing of the reward of money for your time, energy, and effort. No, sir, no, ma'am. All of my time, energy, and effort is dedicated to doing the will of eternal benevolence. I am not here to receive the reward of money for my time, energy, and or effort. Okay? That's not what I am after. Okay? I'm after fulfillment of my spiritual mission. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I have been doing. And all while I've been doing it, as I stated, my channel has been diminished. People have literally been ignoring it, acting as if it's irrelevant. But the fact that they're doing that, they're saying within their mentality and their heart condition that the ever presence of benevolence is irrelevant. They're saying within their mentality and their heart condition that the eternal laws of divine love, life, all things good, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, chastity, purity, none of these things matter. That these things are irrelevant. That these things are worthless. And I am not being respected because I am not putting in my time, energy, and effort for the reward of money to sustain my fleshly body. People have considered it a righteous thing to shut up their bowels of compassion unto me, considering me lazy, regardless of all of this work that I've released on this channel. So, I'm led to show you some of this work that I have yet to be able to bring forward due to the lack of space. So first we're going to start with this, okay? These were all from 2024. You see, as you can see, from May of 2024, you got May, June, September, October, November, December. Okay, all of this time that I did not have internet. Okay, these are all the audios that I recorded by way of the Spirit. Okay, spiritual downloads. You know, when I'm communing with my Maker, I get these downloads. Okay. Why do you refuse to help the deep critical thinker? The longer you withhold of our resources, the worse off you're about to be. It's a damn shame that you're sealing your fate. Here to set the world on fire. Don't be mad. The Father saves the best for last. The biggest blessings comes from the greatest suffering. You think you're rejecting me, yet you're rejecting the one you've been professing. The pretenders don't recognize the real ones till it's too late. You can't see the real ones. The epitome of no mercy. American nightmare. No one should be summed up based upon the physical because it's way deeper than that. Tortured souls unaware they're in prison. People are outright delusional, thinking there's no judgment coming for them. Short thought on reason for why wickedness was allowed for this time frame we've been living. People are under many strong delusions. Truth is too real for most people. The heart of God. I don't worship their God. My God prepared me for this. This is not all that I recorded within this time frame, people. This is just what has been made ready for production. Okay? There's melodies here. Okay, a whole bunch of them. Alright, a whole bunch of melodies. Okay. Now let's deal with 2025. None of these have been made ready for production. Alright. I cannot please my God without faith in my God. Not much to say, but apparently I had something to say. I might change that title. I don't know. It says it all. Okay? It says all. It says all. Alright? You must humble yourself for the spiritual revelation. Or you must humble yourself for spiritual elevation. Sorry about that, people. It's hard for me to see. You must humble yourself for spiritual elevation. They choose to stay blinded, following after the illusion. Our actions exposes our mentality and heart condition. This system has no place for the seekers of clarity and understanding. It's not our problem, it's yours. You may want to stop joining the side of those oppressing me. Edification from the sealed portion. Now that the truth is no longer obscured, true servants of eternal benevolence speak by way of the Spirit. I've been like a sore thumb. You're pissing away your opportunity for true salvation. People have freely chosen to ignore my suffering. Alright, and as I stated, this is not all, because there's a lot that's still on my main recording, voice recording phone, and more on my other phone that I use for voice recording when I run out of space on my main one. Alright, some melodies here. Okay. So anyway, people, yeah. That's what it is, okay? That's what it is. Now, like I said, this is not all. Let me see if I can actually bring up my phone here. Give me a second. Okay, I didn't plug in my phone to see exactly how many is on my phone, but it's quite a bit on my phone. All right. I didn't move them all over. Moved quite a bit of them over because I had to make room on the phone in order to record anymore. Um, Nevertheless, people, this adds up to at least over 70 something audios to create into videos. Just on my PC alone. Alright? And probably the ones included on my phone would make, over 100 or so. Alright? That's the audios that I have to create into videos. And considering the way that, I have recently been led to do this, literally taking each audio and breaking it down, step by step, flowing by way of the Spirit. One of those audios can go anywhere from freaking 3 to freaking 15 videos. Okay? That's a lot. So this is a lot of work, that I have on my plate. You know, but people want to try to make it like, you can't bring the work forward because you refuse to be a responsible adult to do what you need to do to support yourself. I don't have to support myself, okay? Because this is something that eternal benevolence has inscribed upon my spirit, okay? You can't serve two masters. For either you will love one and hate the other, or you will hold to the one and despise the other. No one can serve the true and living God and money. Okay? So time's up for using that against me, because I am well aware that the reason people use that is because they love their money. All right, they're the ones with the heart condition and the mentality after money. All right, money is everything for them, and because it's everything for them, they want to assume that it's everything for me. And it's not. Because if it was, then I would be putting in my time, energy, and effort to obtain this money. All right, but that ain't what I'm doing. Okay? Instead, I'm enduring through all the long suffering, the persecution, the punishment, and all of this that comes with not having what's being required within this system, which is money. Okay? So, um, let's go ahead and go over here because this is a video right here that I was not able to bring forward. It's a physical video, as you can clearly see, but I didn't get a chance to bring it forward. We're gonna skip a little bit. Like once it gets to about 3:09, we're gonna skip a little bit and try to get to the meat of the subject. Okay, because we're dealing with, you know, the mentality and the heart condition of those who are conformed to this system, and why it is they have a problem with those of us on a spiritual mission from eternal benevolence. Okay, there's a reason that we're considered the problem. There's a reason, and people are unknowingly doing it. Okay, they're unknowingly persecuting us. They think that they're righteous. They think that they're in the right to persecute us. All right, but they don't understand that is because they have been beguiled by Satan. Okay, because the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, and it's the worst of the heathen that imposed this satanic ass system. All right, and when people conform to it, um, you know, that's their whole reality. That's their whole mentality. That's their heart condition. Okay, now let's go ahead and listen.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to be picked up. Go to my eye appointment. My pickup is in 5 minutes. I've been out here a good little bit though. I'm taking the lift. I ain't gotta worry about like people trying to diminish me and belittle me and whatnot. It's crazy though, bruh. Hold on, let me put my other phone up. I was watching to see when, or like where my driver was at, because you can see on a map, they send me the link to find out where my driver is at. So, anyway, my mom called me this morning. Still doing the same thing, but now I'm awake to what was happening, so because I was awake to what was happening, I was like, Mama, you've always done this. You belittling and like diminishing me. You know what I'm saying? Like literally trying to dim my light, and then when I said that, she was like, I ain't gotta see your light. And like, wow, bro, I don't treat people that way, and the gaslighting, and I told her, I'm like, Mama, you've always demonized me my whole life, made me feel like I'm a problem, and she's like, because you've been disrespectful. I'm like, I'm not being disrespectful, I'm I'm different, and you don't value me for who I am, like all my life, and I didn't know this growing up. I didn't realize what was happening. I didn't realize till recently, coming into the truth about gaslighting and narcissism and all of that, you know. So, but I went through this emotional abuse all my life, not being valued for who I am, you know, made to feel like I'm a problem because I'm not assimilating into this reality, you know, literally making me feel as if I'm a problem because I don't fit into this reality, okay? But there's a reason that I did not fit into this reality.
All right, so yes, as I stated, there's a reason why I don't fit into this reality. All right, and it is because I am here to do something different. Okay? This is what people need to understand. I am here to do something different. All right? I'm not here to conform to this satanic ass system. Give me a second. I didn't plan this. It's time to create a new reality because this reality is not working. Okay? People are choosing to live in denial of the fact that this is an oppressive society of dictatorship. Okay? Where money is being worshipped. Money is being craved. Money is being glorified. Money is being cherished. So because money has been set as the pinnacle within this society of success, money has been set as the pinnacle of success. Okay? This is what everybody within this system conform to it is after. Okay? They're all after this money and materialistic success. Okay? But that is not where my heart condition is at. This is not my mentality. But this has been established by the worst of the heathen. Okay? This is my mentality. This is my heart condition. Where we love one another as thyself. Where we appreciate one another for our unique qualities and gifts and contributions. Okay? Our natural talents, our natural gifts that were given unto us by way of the Spirit. Okay? This is where my heart and mentality is at. But all of you that are attached to this satanic ass system where money is set as the pinnacle, you want to try to force me to do this what you do. Okay? And because I refuse to do this, you cast me off like I'm worthless. And you refuse to hear about this reality that I am trying to offer unto you. Therefore, you're living in denial. But you want to claim that I'm the one that's living in denial. But the only reason that you can claim I'm living in denial is for the simple fact that I'm living in this world here. Okay? But just because I'm living in this world here, by force, I'm being forced to live in this world. I was born into it. Okay? I can't help that. I can't help that I was born in hell. Okay? But because I was born in hell, all of you who are comfortable and complacent living in hell, glorifying and worshiping this pinnacle of money, you want to look at me like I'm the problem because I'm not glorifying and worshiping the pinnacle of money. You want to act like I'm the freaking problem because I won't get with this system. But you refuse to listen to me that there is a much better reality outside of this satanic ass system. See? You claim I'm living in denial because you want to believe that this really is all there is. Money is top dog. All right, just because the heathen has made it that way don't mean it's that way for real, in the real reality. It's only that way temporarily. Okay? That means it's an illusion. That means it's a false reality. Okay? That means it only has a certain time frame. That means it is a paradigm. But all paradigms have to shift because it's not the real reality. So when this paradigm shifts and it switches to the real reality, all of you who are glorifying and honoring and worshiping your money while mistreating little old me, you're gonna reap great misery for how you have treated me. Okay? This is what you need to understand. So I'm not the one that's living in denial for real, for real. It's you. And it has no effect. It has no effect on the real reality. This is the real reality because the earth was not created for these purposes. Okay? It was merely allotted. Okay? The earth was allotted. This was allotted into the hands of the wicked. Okay, for a period of time during the times of the Gentiles. All right, but now we're at the end of the times of the Gentiles because the living witnesses have been risen. And though we're living in this unrighteous ass kingdom, I'm seeing all the dead animals, being eaten, okay, and advertised in commercials and billboards every freaking where. All right, I'm seeing how people are glorifying and worshiping money, okay. I'm seeing how everybody is, complacent with great misery upon the earth while they focus upon their own selfish ambition to build a comfortable life for themselves while they ignore the suffering and misery of others. Hell, they even ignore their own suffering and misery. They suck it up and claim that, they're strong. They're strong because they can put up with all the oppression and they don't complain about it. They just work harder for this money so that they can set themselves on top and oppress others. This is what people strive for. If they don't like the oppression, they consider themselves the type that they don't complain about it. They just work to become like the moguls. They come like the multi-millionaires and billionaires. This is what they strive for, so that they can set themselves in authority over others. Okay, so that they could do their dictatorship. All right. See, all of it is an unrighteous mentality and heart condition. All right. But you want to deem me a complainer because I'm pointing this out and I'm showing you how there ain't no way that this is righteousness. Okay, this is the opposite of righteousness. This is the opposite of righteousness, people. Where money is set as the most valuable thing upon this earth. Not love for one another. Not compassion for one another. Not mercy towards one another. But money. For you and yours. You are the one that's living in denial. And I'm telling you that your denial of this eternal truth has no effect on the real reality. Okay? This is the reality. Most people is comfortable living. All right? They consider this real life, earning money for a living. And they want to demonize me because I refuse to get with this system. I showed you all the work that I have on my plate. All I want to do is soar in my spiritual mission. But all of you that are complacent with this system of your job reality, selfish ambition, you want to be shut up in your bowels of compassion, refusing to assist the one with a spiritual mission that's doing all I can to get out of this information. You treat me as the problem, laughing at me, calling me a conspiracy theorist, because the truth that I'm bringing threatens your false ass reality. That it's not all about money and materialistic things. That you are forgetting the most important commandment, to love one another as thyself. So you look at me with such envy and jealousy. Don't you know that that's evil spirits within your mentality, within your heart condition? Why do you hate me for reminding you of the eternal law, to love the ever presence of benevolence with your whole heart, mind, and soul, and then love your neighbor as thyself? Why do you look at me with such disgust? Why do you shut up your bowels of compassion unto the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy?
Probably do. But bro, she trying to compare these scenarios, talking about you gotta respect people's wishes. But your wish is for me to not be me, mama. Your wish is for me to be something that I am not. You okay? So like all my life, and then I just came to this revelation, a little bit ago, that it's like, damn, it seemed like, mama had a problem with me my whole life, like as if she wished she had, like, some frilly, girl, like, that, she could go shopping with, you know what I'm saying? Like she wanted a prissy daughter, live this superficial ass life with, okay? But I wasn't that, okay? I was the complete opposite, very passionate, wore my heart on my sleeve, very loving, and craved love and compassion and mercy, these things that were already in me. It was like all my life I was being deprived of these things. And coming into the realization of all of this, it seems like, I think this is my driver right here. Hey, bro, you.
Yeah, my driver showed up. So, hold on, let me go back.
Coming into the realization of all of this.
Yeah, and coming into the realization of all of this, people, I have been given the clarity and the understanding that I am not the problem. I am not the problem. No, the problem is the people who are comfortable and complacent in Satan's kingdom. Okay?
My bus will be here soon. But the word that's on my spirit is literally that people are being treated like trash. People are being casted out like trash. Yet money is cherished. That's abominable. It's abominable before the eyes of the Great Spirit. People cast it out like trash, but money is respected. Money can't feel anything. Money ain't got no compassion, love, mercy, empathy, none of that. But we as beings are supposed to be exuding that towards one another. Right. But we're not doing that. People are literally being treated like trash. All for the love of money. And people don't see a problem with this. Well, I see a problem with this. I have a problem with this. I am not complacent with this. Therefore, I realize money is a false god that many people have been deceived into worshiping and adoring while spitting on the maker of their spirit, the lover of their soul. The deception is deep, people. So deep that it pisses people off. Makes them shut up their bowels of compassion to you. Shalom. I think my bus is coming.
Alright, so yes, the deception is so deep that it makes people hate you and shut up their bowels of compassion onto you. But I am here to create a new reality. As the material world continues to crumble, a lot of people who are stuck on third dimensional mentalities will start verbally and or attacking chosen ones because we're exposing their beliefs and illusions. As businesses, religions, politics, and the monetary system diminishes, 85% of people don't have a purpose outside of that elusive framework. Y'all have to understand it's not about what y'all got. It's about who you are mentally and spiritually. When you divinely got that glowful aura, most people can't stand how they know eventually you will be respected. Okay? Because I have not been respected all my life, people. So it's not that they can't stand how people respect me, because clearly I've been diminished and debased the entirety of my life. So the reason that they can't stand me is because they know that eventually I will be respected because of the principles that I stand upon. Alright? They know that eventually I will be loved. Alright? I'm not seeking no praise and honor and glory of men. I direct it all to eternal benevolence. They know that my energy is authentic. It is different when I walk into a room. It's different when I enter into the chat of a live stream. This says that people respect you for who you are mentally versus what you get materially. This is yet to happen because in this false ass reality, I'm surrounded by people who are glorified and honored and respected for what they have materially. Yet they are empty spiritually. and mentally. And I have been debased for my spiritual qualities, regardless of my spiritual qualities and righteous mentality. Just because I say I have a righteous mentality is not patting myself on the back. That is not setting myself in authority. It is a righteous mentality to love thy neighbor as thyself and to literally live your life this way. It is a righteous mentality to crave for all of humanity and all of creation to be able to live happy and free without oppression and tyranny. Having to earn money for a living. Okay? That's a righteous mentality, people. That's not a wicked mentality. It's a wicked mentality to say root hog or die poor. It's a wicked mentality to say money don't grow on trees. If you don't learn to earn and save your own money, don't think you're going to get a handout from me. That is a corrupted mentality and heart condition. This is why the wrath of the fourth dimensional energy engineered that catastrophic earthquake in Turkey, and there will be more once Pluto enters Aquarius in March. A lot of people not mentally built for what is to come because they've been going along to get along for money and status, which makes them docile to the real reality. All right? And because my mom is docile well, it makes them docile to this false ass reality, my bad. All right? And so it makes them docile to this false ass reality. All right? And comatose to the real reality. All right? It's like they can't see the real freaking reality. All right? So because my mom is docile to this false ass reality, and you know, is all she can see, and the same with my whole family. You know, they've accepted this false ass reality. Here, okay? We were all born in this. And, you know, they all conformed. So they're all up here, you know, they all fought for their slice of the pie. Okay? And so they all built a successful life for themselves within this false ass reality. All right, they all own a home. All right, they all own a couple of vehicles or so. Okay, they all, you know, are quote unquote self-sufficient. Okay, they're not on, you know, food stamps. They don't get SNAP benefits. Okay, none of my family get SNAP benefits except for me. Okay, none of them are in HUD housing except for me. Okay, so my whole family looks their nose down upon me. My own people look their nose down upon me as if I'm lazy, claiming that I ain't self-sufficient, that I'm dependent upon the system. But no, sir, no, ma'am. This is where the cards fell. Because I did not have a heart after this false god of money. Okay, you're going to stop putting that upon me like that's something evil. Like I'm evil because I didn't have a heart to build a successful life for myself in hell. You're going to stop demonizing me for being able to see this reality for what it really is. It's not that I'm lazy, because I work like hell, trying to bring about the real reality, trying to let you know that this is the real reality. This is where my heart is at. This is where my mentality is at, not in your false god of money. Okay? Just because you are complacent with the worst of the heathen don't mean that I have to join you. Okay? I do not have to join you in your illusion. Okay? I am here to usher in a better reality. And that's exactly what I've been doing. I'm here creating a new reality. Okay? A better reality. A reality where you don't have to pine after money for a living. A reality where you respect, praise, honor, glorify, love, esteem the ever presence of benevolence for the provision of the earth and all the resources of the earth that will be freely provided unto us. I work like hell trying to get you to transform your mentality and your heart condition. Plato did not come up with this because this is scripture. Oh, that's right. My bad. I forgot. I didn't bring up the internet yet. Okay. Let's see. All right. All right. Living sacrifices, okay? Bruh. Therefore, I urge you, brothers, on account of eternal benevolence mercy, to offer your physical bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to the ever-presence of benevolence, which is your spiritual service of worship. Okay? People are not doing this. Okay? But yet they get the name of the true and living God in their mouth, vainly professing his name. Yet all of their actions are following after the worst of the heathen. Do not be conformed to this world. Are you not conformed to this world when you wake up every single day, rush to get ready, fight traffic, to go to your job reality? Okay? This is being conformed to this world, people. Okay? You're conformed to this world. Job reality. All right? Being a responsible adult, being self-sufficient, okay? And you're proud of yourselves. All right? You're all conformed to this world. But I'm here explaining to you that you must be transformed by the renewing of your mind. See, if you were transformed by the renewing of your mind, then you will see a problem with this. Okay? You will begin to see that money is a false god. Hold on a second. Let me pull it up right quick. See? Yeah. See? If you were transformed by the renewing of your mind, then you will begin to see, hey, it's right in front of your face because it's engraved on your money. In God we trust. But that is not the true and living God. Okay? You will begin to see that, hey, you are chasing this counterfeit God. All right? And you don't realize that you are enslaved by it. But you will realize it once you are transformed by the renewing of your mind. So you will no longer want to be enslaved by this false god. You're allowing this money to control you. Okay? People are allowing this false god to control them. All right? This controls you. This makes you get up every single day to go punch the clock to earn your reward of money. Okay? So that you can then take this money and buy whatever the hell you want materialistically. Okay? To please your fleshly body. Okay? Because you can't purchase what I have with this false god. It's not for sale. Alright? The only thing that you can purchase with this false god has everything to do with pleasing your carnal, fleshly body. Okay? Your mortal flesh. Okay? It does nothing for your spirit. Okay? It does nothing to elevate your spirit. You're not stirring up any kind of spiritual wealth in the righteous kingdom. Matter of fact, you're doing the exact opposite. Because this was earned via selfish ambition. Okay? So already you made a covenant with this false god. Okay? You earned it via your selfish ambition. Okay? So now you have your money. You have your prosperity because of your selfish ambition. Okay? Now, with your abundance of your money, you want to splurge and treat yourself. You want to enjoy the proceeds of your selfish ambition. So now, not only did you obtain your money in selfish ambition, now you have a selfish heart condition. Because now you want to hold on to what you earned via your selfish ambition and enjoy it all to yourself. And you ain't got no compassion for anyone who refuses to have selfish ambition like you. Nevertheless, you are enslaved to this money. And you allowed this money to harden your heart condition against the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy. Okay? And you think you're doing a righteous thing by shutting up your bowels of compassion. Oh, well, you don't want to pine after money like us for a living, then fine, suffer. Well, you go right ahead with your fool's gold. Okay? Because I am aware that this is a false god, and a false god cannot last for eternity. Okay? Now, you must be transformed by the renewing of your mind, okay? Only then will you be able to test and approve what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of the true and living God. Now, clearly, I've been transformed by the renewing of my mind. Therefore, I know, okay? I know what is the perfect will of the true and living God. Alright? See? That way I know I can prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the true and living God. But you cast me off as irrelevant. You cast me off as worthless. While all of you refuse to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. While all of you is comfortable and complacent being conformed to the ways of this world. But you think that you're so righteous. You think you're in the right. Be renewed in the spirit of your minds and put on the new self, created to be an image of benevolence, not malevolence. That's about selfish ambition and greed and capitalism. But in true righteousness and holiness. 1 John 2:15 through 17. Do not love the world. Why in the hell do you demonize me for not loving this world? Why am I demonized? Why are you like all my life I've been considered a pessimist and a complainer because I'm seeing all the problems of this world, clearly hating this world. But I'm looked at as a downer. Do not love the world or anything in the world. Okay? Clearly, this money, where is it at? This money, all right, is of this world. Okay? Because the true and living God did not create this money. Okay? No. The true and living God created this earth with all the resources in abundance for all of the inhabitants. Okay? But you got the worst of the heathen who created this system, and they put money as the pinnacle, the end all be all. Okay? And so this is what everybody is after. But that is the things of this world. And the people who are participating in this actually love this world. You know, because once they obtain this false god of money, they can do whatever they want to please their fleshly bodies. And that's all they care about. But the scripture tells you, if anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. Okay? So all of you who are pining after money for a living and enjoying the proceeds of your selfish ambition, and you ain't got no compassion, no kindness, no mercy, no empathy within your heart condition for the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy, the love of the Father is not in you. Okay? The love of the Father is not in you whatsoever. See? What's in you is money. Okay? That's all you care about. That's where your heart is at. Alright? Wherever your heart is, that's where your treasure is. Wherever your treasure is, that's where your heart is. And because this is in your heart, there ain't no room for the love of the Father. Okay? For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh, okay? The desires of the eyes, your physical mortal eyes, lust, lasciviousness, all right? And the pride of life. None of that is from the Father, but is from the world. I'm telling you that this world is passing away, along with all its desires. Yes. Paradigm shift, okay? It's a paradigm shift, people. Alright? The system is not working. That is how a paradigm shift begins. Alright? The system was never working for us, the indigenous people. It was only working for the worst of the heathen and then all the confederate nations that made a covenant with the worst of the heathen. But now, because of the rise and the awakening of the obedient covenant remnant, now the system is no longer working for all the individual people out of the nations that made a covenant with the worst of the heathen. Okay? Because now the worst of the heathen is turning upon them, because they no longer have the authority to come after the true people of eternal benevolence. All right? Malevolence got to torture somebody. Okay? And hands off us. All right? So now we're in the last remnants of Jacob's trouble. And it's all you individual people out of all nations that are still oppressing us. All right? Thinking that it's okay. But all of it is being accounted against you. Okay? The established way of seeing the world no longer functions. Okay? So you're going to have to change your heart condition. All right? You're going to have to change your mentality. That is, if you are of the true and living God of eternal benevolence. All right? It don't matter what the hell you confess out your mouth, nor what you psych yourself out to believe in your heart. Okay? Because we're reading here in the scripture. Okay? Whoever does the will of the true and living God is the ones that remain forever. Okay? It's better to be left behind than taken. Because if you're taken in the supposed rapture, understand, you get caught up by the reapers. Okay? And you're going to be carted off to dungeons of the angels of torture. Okay? Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay? Now, for you see, this is the apocalypse of Baruch. Okay? For you see that he whom we serve is just, and our Creator is no respecter of persons. You see what has befallen Zion. Yes, you do. You see what has befallen us. Okay? You know what has befallen us. Ezekiel 39:23. And the heathen shall know that the house of Israel went into captivity for our iniquity, because we transgressed against the ever presence of benevolence. Therefore, we were removed from his protection. All right, we removed ourselves from his protection due to our disobedience. Anything that is unclean cannot be in the presence of benevolence. Okay? So we went into the hands of our enemies, and so we fell by way of the sword. The destruction of Jerusalem. We all fell by the edge of the sword, and we were led captive into all nations. And Jerusalem has been trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. Okay? Your time has been fulfilled. Because now we have been awakened within the land of our captivity, and we have all of this clarity and understanding. Okay? So clearly, we fell by way of the sword. One second. Find out where I'm at. I gotta close some of this stuff out too. Okay, so yeah, we fell by the way of the sword. You know what happened to us, okay? You've seen what happened to us. All right? So you've seen what has befallen Zion and what has happened to Jerusalem. All right? For the judgment of the mighty one shall thereby be made known. Okay? And his ways, which though past finding out, are right. Okay? For if we endure, and you know what this means, right? For the judgment of the mighty one shall thereby be made known. Okay? So we're to call forth people fighting. All right. Deuteronomy 30, verse 1. And
That's crazy.
all right, and it shall come to pass when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Most High thy power has allowed thee to be driven. Okay? And we shall return unto our God, all right, and shall obey his voice according to all that he has commanded unto us this day. All right, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And then the true and living God will overturn our captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations, whether the Most High our God has allowed us to be scattered. All right? Even any of ours that be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven. From thence will eternal benevolence gather us, and from thence he will fetch us. Okay? All of this is connected. Okay? All of this is connected. All right? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Okay? All of this is connected. All right? Now, so, for the judgment of the mighty one shall be thereby made known. Okay, we're making it known what happened in the time we were living in. All right. Yes, we were living in this time of the worst of the heathen, because he said, I will allow it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. This is exactly where we have been living. Okay? It's exactly what we've been living. All right? This down here, brought to you by the wicked. Okay? Established by the wicked. Okay? Established by the wicked. All right? My face will I also turn from them, because wickedness cannot be in the presence of eternal benevolence. All right? So therefore he was not delivering us from the worst of the heathen. We wanted to act like barbarians and heathens by shedding blood in the land. Okay? So we separated ourselves from the ever presence of benevolence. So because we separated ourselves from our God, the worst of the heathen came and polluted his secret place. The robbers entered into it and defiled it. Okay? Make a change, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. This is what we were doing upon these lands, and we refuse to turn back unto our God of eternal benevolence. Okay? So therefore, he allowed the worst of the heathen to come over here and possess our houses. This made the pomp of the strong to cease, allowing our holy places to be defiled, because we were already defiling it anyway, polluting it with blood. Therefore destruction came, and we sought for peace, and there was none. All of this time, while the earth was allotted into the hands of the wicked. Therefore mischief has come upon mischief, and rumor has been upon rumor. And we sought for a vision of the prophet, but the law had perished from the priests, and counsel from the ancients, because we went into the hands of our enemies. The king shall mourn. That's why there ain't no kings and or queens or princes or any kind of royalty in this land, by any nobility or any of that considered in this land. I mean, we are the true kings and queens, and we're the true nobility. Yes, we are. But we're not recognized as that. Okay, so now the king is mourning. All right, and the prince has been clothed with desolation, while the counterfeit nations been pretending to be us. The hands of the people of the land shall be troubled, and he allotted unto us after our way, and according to our deserts we were judged. And now we know that he is the true and living God. All right? So yes, this connects to the earth being given into the hands of the wicked. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9:24. These wicked heathen is what constructed this satanic ass system. And they had centuries in order to do it. Okay? Now, and his ways, which though past finding out, are righteous. Okay? And it's not past finding out, because clearly I can see how he is the ultimate righteous judge, because we reap what we sow. That is the ultimate righteous justice. Okay, because we were given free agency. We were given the freedom of choice, along with responsibility to continue in the goodness of the one who gave us a choice, or rebel against the one that gave us a choice and reap the consequences, which is the accountability for our actions, against eternal benevolence, against divine love and compassion and kindness and mercy and empathy, generosity, all these things. You have the choice to rebel against that. Okay? But in your rebellion against that, you're gonna reap exactly what you have been sowing. And that is the righteous judgment of the true and living God. Alright? Therefore, if we endure and persevere in his reverence, And do not forget his eternal law of divine love, compassion, kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, chastity, if you're not married, holiness, and all these righteous fruits of the Spirit within our heart condition and within our mentality, which causes us to actually uphold it by our actions. Okay? Then the time shall change over you for good. Okay? But we gotta endure all the persecution of those who rebel against this. Okay? But we shall see the consolation of Zion. The whole world is gonna see the consolation of Zion. The comfort. Okay?
Consolation.
The comfort received by a person after a loss or disappointment. We lost our inheritance. We lost our heritage. We lost everything that was who we were. And we were reclassified by all of these proverbs and bywords and treated as nothing more than the property of our enemies this whole entire time. See, the world has not been giving us any comfort, no solace, no sympathy, no compassion, no pity, no relief, no help, no aid, no support, no moral support. We are not cheered on. We have not been encouraged. We haven't been given reassurance by the world. We haven't been given fortification, no kind of soothing, no easement, no secure, no alleviation. None of these things have the world given unto us, the indigenous people that went into this heinous captivity. It withheld all of these things from us. But yet the whole world is going to see the consolation of Zion. Because whatever is now is nothing. But that which shall be is very great. You think that you got it all, 'cause you got all your money and your materialistic things. Those who are the most wealthy is those who are the most impoverished in the real reality. Because real prosperity is divine love and compassion and kindness, mercy, empathy, generosity, purity, holiness. That's the real prosperity, not money. So you're going to see those of us who have the real prosperity spiritually, we're going to get it physically because it belongs to us. All right? See? He's going to give it into the hands of the righteous. All right? We were already initially given it anyway. All right? It was the descendants of Shem that received the prosperous lands. All right? And it was only allowed into the hands of the worst of the heathen because of our disobedience. But this was only for a period of time, not indefinitely. Okay? So it's going to return unto us in the rightful hands of the original people of these lands. Okay? For everything that is corruptible shall pass away, And everything that dieth shall depart, and all the present time shall be forgotten. Nor shall there be any remembrance of the present time, which is completely defiled with evils. For that which runneth now runneth unto vanity, and that which prospereth shall quickly fall and be humiliated. Okay? So now, we are in this paradigm shift, all right? All you people that are selfish, greedy, and upholding capitalism, you ain't got no place in your heart for the true and living God. All right? But the times of the Gentiles have been fulfilled. Okay? Yes, they have been fulfilled. All right? Now, this world is passing away along with its desires. For whoever does the will of the true and living God will remain forever. All right? The meek shall inherit the earth. All right, that is the meek, tender-hearted vessels of mercy that you love to hate. Okay? Here it is again. But the meek will inherit the land and delight in abundant prosperity. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for we shall be filled. Blessed are those who mourn, for we will be comforted. All right. For the evildoers will be cut off, but those who hope in eternal benevolence will inherit the land. All right. Surely those he blesses will inherit the land, but the cursed will be destroyed. The righteous will inherit the land and dwell in it forever. He guides the humble in what is right and teaches us his way. Okay? The Most High sustains the humble, but will allow the wicked to be cast unto the ground. Okay? The humble will increase their joy in eternal benevolence. All right? And all the poor among men will rejoice in the Holy One of Israel, because there will no longer be the poor. Okay? They will be filled where they are lacking. Okay? Oh, you wicked people! You're selfish-hearted people with no compassion. The mockers are going to be mocked, but he gives grace to the humble. This seek the Most High, all you humble of the earth who carry out his justice. All right? Seek righteousness, seek humility. All right? Carrying out his justice is to speak the eternal living word, not to pick up man-made mortal weapons like you freaking modern day Christians. You don't realize that this is how your religion was spread. All right? Your religion was spread because they seriously, in their erroneous mentality, thought that they were carrying out his justice against his holy people by killing us and enslaving us and oppressing us. All right? That's not carrying out his justice. All right? No, that's carrying out malevolent intentions, okay? Because they only did this so that they could usurp us and steal all of our wealth, okay? Steal our heritage, steal our inheritance. None of that has anything to do with the justice of the true and living God, okay? So, to really carry out his justice is to actually live the eternal truth, okay? And speak the eternal truth. All right? Then you will be sheltered on the day of the wrath of the wickedness, okay? So, people's wickedness is going to come upon themselves, all right? It don't come from eternal benevolence. Malevolence comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The adversary comes to kill, steal, and destroy. People need to realize that don't come from eternal benevolence, okay? No, it's just the fact that eternal benevolence will not deliver those who refuse to choose benevolence, okay? He is opposed to the proud. Well, really, it's the proud that's opposed to him, okay? Because the ever presence of benevolence desires for all to be obedient, but gives the freedom of choice. So if you choose to be opposed to him, that's your choice. All right? But it is you that's choosing to oppose benevolence and divine love. Okay? It's you that's choosing to disobey the eternal laws. Okay? That's crazy. Wow. Wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. This is the type of neighborhood that I live in, people. This is a neighborhood that I live in, okay? So anyway, I'm gonna be wrapping this up, okay? So it's the people that refuse eternal benevolence that opposes benevolence, okay? But grace is gonna be given to the humble, okay? Alright. Let's see. Alright. Psalms 25:13. Who is the man that reverences eternal benevolence? He will instruct him in the path chosen for him. Okay? So why you want to be mad at me? Why you want to be mad at me for this? See, his soul will dwell in prosperity, and his descendants will inherit the land. Okay? Eternal benevolence confides in those who reverences him and reveals his covenant unto them. Okay? We're the ones with the covenant. Okay? His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. Alright? For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon eternal benevolence, they shall inherit the earth. Thy people also shall all be righteous. Let me open this up. Future glory for Zion. Okay? So you want to think that we don't matter, that we're worthless, that we're irrelevant. But what you don't understand is you've been living in the times of the worst of the heathen. But now it's about to be overturned. Okay? Because it's going to be given back to the original people of these lands. Okay? Your sun will no longer set, and your moon will not wane, for eternal benevolence will be your everlasting light, and the days of your sorrow will cease. Okay? Then all your people will be righteous. They will possess the land forever. They are the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, so that I may be glorified. See, I seek to glorify eternal benevolence, not myself, not my selfish ambition and all the proceeds of my labor. Glorifying and reveling in my own selfish ambition to build a successful life for myself. Okay, that ain't what I'm seeking for. Because I am the branch of his planting. I am the work of his hands, so that my God may be glorified, not the image of the beast, which is money. The least of you will become 1,000, and the smallest a mighty nation. I am eternal benevolence. In its time, I will accomplish it quickly. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. It's only a very small remnant, a very small portion that truly love eternal benevolence and have a problem with this economic system imposing self-preservation by selfish ambition. Soon we will live in a land that was given unto his servant Jacob, where our fathers lived. And we will live there forever with our children, our grandchildren, and the servant David will be our prince forever. Okay? The servant David is just the bloodline of David. Okay? This is the ascended master that's going to be our king forever. And I will make a covenant of peace with him. It will be an everlasting covenant. Clearly, this has not happened yet, because our earth was given into the hands of the wicked. And the wicked have made a covenant with all nations to oppress the true holy people of these lands. And that's the world that we've all been living in. And you want us complacent. No, sir, no, ma'am. I am not complacent. Therefore, I continue to endure all your persecution, because I trust in a true and living God of eternal benevolence that I know will deliver me from the hands of my enemies. All right? And make an everlasting covenant with us. He will establish us and multiply us. And he will set his sanctuary amongst us forever. All right? His dwelling place will be with us, for he will be our God, and we will be his people. And all you nations will know that we are his people and that he is our God. Okay? And if you want to be a part of this, then you will humble yourselves, and you will repent, and you will begin to cleave unto his living witnesses. On that note, shalom.